Hey, what's up, guys? So, breaking news here. It looks like Trump actually did it. He signed the executive order for a crypto national stockpile. He said that he was going to do a Bitcoin reserve, but he's really over delivered here. They're going to be holding more than just Bitcoin. So, let's go ahead and dig in here, see what we know. Again, this has only been out for a few minutes here. Some of the key points here. The working group will be tasked with developing a federal regulatory framework for governing digital assets, including stablecoins, and evaluating the creation of a strategic and national digital asset stockpile. This is very likely going to include, I would say, Bitcoin, Ethereum, a lot of the US-based cryptos that we're talking about. I would imagine that if they're in the World Liberty financial portfolio, they're probably going to be included in this. Just basing that on how we see politicians where they buy assets knowing what's coming down the road and then they skyrocket. So if you want to get ahead of that trade, you can look into the assets that World Liberty Financial's address is holding, see if any of them interest you. So the next one here, the working group will be chaired by the White House AI and crypto czar, David Sachs, and include the Secretary of the Treasury and the Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, not Gary Gensler, thank God. And the heads of other relevant departments and agencies. The White House AI and crypto czar will engage in leading experts in digital assets. So it's likely going to include figures like Brian Armstrong, real dominant names within the industry are going to be advising and guiding this group. The executive order directs departments and agencies identifying and making recommendations to the working group on any regulation or other agency action affecting the digital asset sectors that should be rescinded or modified. The executive order prohibits agencies from undertaking any action to establish, issue, or promote central bank digital currencies. That, to me, is really big. Probably one of the top biggest items on there, because we're going to move into an era of digital currencies, but not central bank digital currencies, at least in America. And so what that does is that opens a huge door for private sector, meaning banks creating their own digital stable coins that will interact with the blockchain ecosystem. And we're already seeing that with, like Circle's CBDC and whatnot. So I think we're going to see a boom in the creation of stable coins. So again, huge deal. Very likely that those are going to be built on top of Ethereum, because Ethereum already dominates that market. I mean, they control majority of it. And so then the final point here, the executive order revokes the previous administration's digital assets executive order and the Treasury Department's framework for international engagement on digital assets, which expressed innovation and which suppressed innovation and undermined U.S. economic liberty and global leadership in the digital finance space. So huge, essentially revoking all of the previous administration's attempts to suppress the growth of the crypto industry. And what's interesting is how this is getting streamlined, because you have all the people that you need to get this done, because you need the Securities Exchange Commission, you need the Treasury, Secretary of the Treasury. So they're forming this task force that's going to accelerate the crypto adoption within the United States. So, this is a huge deal, guys, huge deal. And once the government starts buying here, there's other world governments that are not going to be far behind. Other world governments are not going to sit there and not adopt cryptocurrency and watch the United States just, adopt this new industry of innovation and wealth building, and then just sit there and just kind of watch it happen. So it's going to be really interesting watching what the UK does and what the rest of Europe, Japan and China, Russia, what all these other countries start to do, and we start seeing them implement strategic digital asset stockpiles. It's going to be a wild 4 years. So until next time, y'all take care.